Hello, welcome to our lesson. In our lesson, we're going to be looking at if statement. Okay, in C++ programming, decision making is a crucial concept that allows a programmer to execute certain code based on conditions. The if statement is one of the fundamental control structures that enable a programmer to make choices. It evaluates a condition and executes a block of code only if the condition is true. So our main objectives in this lesson is to understand the syntax and working of an if statement in C++. The second objective is to write a complete statement with a logical condition. The third objective is to apply an if statement to solve simple problems in C++. Okay, so before we go into further, let's look at the keyword if. Sorry, it's supposed to be small letters. We need to understand that this is just a syntax, not in a programming code. So you write the keyword if, all the words in small letters, then you open the bracket. Inside these brackets, you're going to write the condition. Okay, then you close the bracket. Then after that, you open the curly brace. Inside the curly brace there, you write the statement or the code to be executed if condition is true. So let me say code to be executed, if the condition is true. All right, so what I've done here, this is these lines, these are called comments. Just commented my code so that it's not executed. No, we don't even mind about these comments there. So code to be executed when the condition is true. Then after that we have a closing curly brace. This is called a curly brace. We have opening curly brace here, and we have a closing curly brace. So if this condition is true, whatsoever code that you're going to write here will be executed. If this is false, then the code which will be here will not be executed. So this is called one-way if statement. It's like you are telling a child that if you sweep the house, I'll buy you chocolate. You have not told this particular child what you will do if he or she does not sweep the house. You have only told a child the one thing that shall be done if the condition or if the child does what you want. The condition here is that the child should sweep the house. And if the child sweeps the house, then the child will have a chocolate. If the child does not sweep the house, we do not know what you are going to do because we are using one-way if statement. To make a complete if statement, you need to write else part. The else part will show what shall be done in case the condition is not true. Okay, so here write code to be executed if the condition is false. So this line of code will be executed if the condition is false. This line of code will be executed if the condition is true, and this line of code will be executed if the condition is false. So we close the curly brace here. In if statement, when you open a curly brace, you need to close that curly brace. So what you are seeing here is the general syntax for the if statement. Let me write on top here, general syntax. Some of you might be wondering, what does he mean, general syntax? When I talk about general structure, I'm just simply showing you the general structure of a C++ code. I mean, an if statement. The way an if statement is structured, that's what I'm showing in this particular code. Meaning that if you are writing an if statement, the first thing that you need to consider is writing the word if, and then you write the condition, and then after that you write the code that need to be executed if the condition is true. And then you also write the code that need to be executed in case the condition is false. Or maybe I'll say, if you sweep the house, I'll buy you chocolate. Else, you will not eat anything this day. So the things that if the child sweep the house will have a chocolate. If this child does not sweep the house, then he will not eat anything throughout the day. That's generally about the if statement. In programming, let me just have this side by, or let me use Dev C++ for this one. Dev C++. Okay, so I'll click on open here, and Dev C++ is loading. I'll go on file, then I'll go new. Then from there, I'll select project. Then I'll select console application. Here you need to ensure that C++ programming is selected, and then I'll click OK. You can make this your default IDE. Then click OK. After that, you select where you want your program to be saved. So I have a file on the desktop called online lessons. So I'll go on the desktop there, and I'll look for online lessons file folder. This is online lessons. So I'll select this folder and I'll click on save. So I have this. The first line of code that you're seeing here, this is just a link, it's just a comment. Run this program using console browser. The console is that black screen that comes whenever you compile a code. So I'll just remove this line of code, and then of course I'll be using a namespace standard. Those that attended my previous lesson understand what that statement means. You also understand what include IOStream is used for, including the input and output stream. Yeah, okay, so we have the int main function. These are called arguments. I can remove them here and just have a proper code here. So inside here, I'm going to have these side by side. I have the syntax here, and I'll be writing the code here so that you're able to see exactly what is happening. Let me just reduce this a bit so that you're able to see properly what is going on. Alright, so the first thing that you can see here is to write the keyword if. Now in our program here, we are going to write a program to check if a given number is a positive number or a negative number. That's what we are going to do here. So we are going to write the keyword if, and then maybe before we do that, let me just take you back a bit to our lesson where we are supposed to declare a variable, and this variable will be of integer type. So we'll say int, and this variable are going to give it a number. Then we will ask a user at runtime to provide the user input to provide that particular number, and after they provide this number, the system should decide whether this number is a positive number or a negative number. Okay, I'll show it in one-way if statement, then I'll show it in a two-way if statement. So we'll write this statement: cout, enter a number, enter a number. Okay, let me just have this fit the screen. Then end L. End L means break the line. You don't want to have a lot of things written on the same. I don't want to print things on the console using the same line of code, or things just joining each other. Alright, but for this I can move this end line so that whatever that word that I'm going to type in the console input will be printed in the same line as the statement enters a number. So this is console output. Then I'll click on enter here. I'll type console input, cin, that's console output. Use the extraction operators, then show the compiler the variable where that number will be stored. So the number will be stored in a variable called number that we declared at this place here. So in C++, C++ is case sensitive. The way you declare a variable, that is how you should be able to use it. So I declare this variable in small letters, and I'm using this same variable in small letters. After doing that, I'm going to write a condition now to check if this particular number that the user is going to enter is positive or not. So this is the if statement now that I'm going to use. If the condition, so the positive number is a number that is is greater than what? 0. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. Those are positive numbers. Any number greater than 0 is a positive number, and any number less than 0 is a negative number. So the condition will be if number is greater than 0, then we will conclude that this is positive number. So this is the condition here. If number is greater than 0, what should we print out? So here we're going to say the number is positive. So printing out statement in C++, of course, I'm going to use a console output, Cout, and then say the number is positive or positive. Okay, the number is positive. Alright, so end line, I can even use \n. Those that attended my previous lesson understand what \n is. It means the same as end L. Okay, after that I can even put a semicolon there. Remember, in C++, all the codes end with a semicolon. So the way I have written the code like this, I have just done this particular part, the one-way if statement. So if I run the code, then the question will pop up here. Okay, so here first I need to save this particular C++ file. So I'll click on save, or I can change the name of this C++ file here. Give it a name, lesson 5 or lesson 7. Click save there, and then the program is running. The compiler is checking for errors, converting a code from the source code into the binary code. Now here we have an error. This error, I just wanted you to understand how to fix errors. Such kind of errors will be coming as you'll be coding. Okay, now we know that C++ ends the statement with a semicolon, and here we have an error. How to understand the errors? Line 7. This is line 7, column 2. So if you count line 7 in column 2, there is an error. This is column 1 and then column 2. The error is expected. This is a semicolon. So saying expecting a semicolon before if. This is if statement. So a semicolon is expected here. So we need to put a semicolon there, and then the error must be sorted. Run the code. Okay, the computer is checking for errors, compiling the code. This is a compiler working here. So after that, find there are no errors, and you have the statement here. This statement that we had written here, Cout or console output, enter a number. This is the same statement that you are seeing here, enter a number. So here you can type in a number. For example, if I type 56, then the program is telling me the number is positive. Okay, now I'll close this, run the code once again. So the condition is true. It's true that 56 is a positive number. So because the condition is true, that's why the body of the if statement is being executed. Now, what if I enter -2? -2 is not a positive number. We have not programmed this particular code to be able to respond to the otherwise situation in case the condition is not true. So if I run the code here, you see there's nothing that is being printed on the screen, because we have not told the compiler, we have not programmed this code to respond to such kind of commands. So what are you going to do in such cases? This is where now you need to apply a two-way if statement. How do you do that? You are going to write here else and open the curly brace. This is the else part that I'm talking about here. So else will print out the number is negative. The number is negative. Okay, and there I can say end L, This end L, remember, works the same as \n to break the line. If we write this \n and n, if we don't write \n, this statement and this statement will be joined together to come out as one when you compile the code. Please, you can watch the video that I posted earlier on YouTube. You're able to see how this works. I have explained about this \n and end L, the introduction to C++ programming. So when we run the code now, the program is able to answer the otherwise question. In case the condition is false, the program is able to give the result. And enter a number, I enter 4, 4 is positive. So this number is positive. Compile the code once again, enter a number, I enter -2. Now the code is able to respond, so the number is negative. I have a question for you. What if I enter 0? Enter a number, I enter 0. Is 0 a negative number? I don't know. Can be a negative, can be positive. So I'll take it to say 0 is neutral. So what would you do if you want to take care of that? Alright, so this is where you can now type a multiple or the multiple if statement. So you can say else. Before this condition here, we can write again else, like that. If we test another condition here, number, the variable that I declared number, is equal to. So this is a relational operator. This is a relational operator. It is different from an assignment operator used to assign a value. You can check my the previous video. I talked about an assignment operator using one equal sign. That's an assignment operator. But here I'm using two equal sign. It is called a relational operator. Then after that, I'll open the curly brace. I'll just click on enter without deleting the other curly brace, because if I do that, if I don't do that, then I'm going to have a syntax error, and I don't want to do that, because if I remove one curly brace in this line of code, I'm likely to have an error. So I will do that. I'll just push it down there so that I'll have a positive. So if that is the case, then I'm going to say cout number is neutral. The number is neutral. The number is neutral. This is how we spell neutral. Okay. This means this number is neither positive nor negative. And that is the case of 0. So if I compile the code now, the program should be able to, okay, here I need to copy this if statement that I had written earlier. Okay, I need to copy this if statement here. It can't be here. Okay, close that. I need to copy this, cut this out. I need to paste it here. This is where that if statement is supposed to be. Okay, and with this closing curly brace there. And then this is the closing curly brace of this other else statement there. So we run the code now. The code is now working without issues. Now, enter a number 2. 2 is positive. Run the code once more, for the second time. Running the code, enter a number -4. That's a negative number. Okay, the last one. Enter a number 0. Then the number is neutral. So this is about the if statement. It is a decision structure, or it is a control structure. The computer is able to make decision based on the values that we provide. Okay. Before we go, I have a question for you. I want you to write a program that will be able to determine whether the particular person, the age, will request a user to input the age and then display if this person is eligible to vote or not. Or let me call out the question right now, or let me type the question down here. Right, this is the question for you. A C++ program that asks or that asks the user to enter their age. Use an if statement to check if the user is 18 or older. Use an if statement to check if the user is 18 or older. If the condition is true, display the message that you display here is you are eligible to vote. Do this program quickly and ensure that you post in the class. And for those that have challenges, please contact me. We're about to have personalized lesson to help, in order for me to help you with the challenges that you might face. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for watching this video to the end. Goodbye. See you in the next video.